Hello everyone, I am here to help you get through your first set of definitions for early American literature terms. These will be cut in half, so we're only going to be focusing on the words from abate to manifold. If you would like to open up the folder that says Trimester 1 Vocabulary, you could find these slides in that folder listed under Vocabulary, Early American Lit, first half. Abate to manifold. Okay, so just take a moment to get that together. Okay, so here we are. The first word, abate. If you're waiting for the flood waters to abate, you're waiting for them to lessen, to decrease or lessen. We had to wait for his anger to abate, to diminish. We all know the word abundant, and the verb form of abundant is abound, because when many problems abound, it means that there's an abundance of them. So to have in large numbers. He was abounding with he was abound with joy. He was overwhelmed with it. We could say that, there was trouble abound, it was going to consume us. Affirm. To affirm that something has taken place is another way of saying to confirm it, to state it as a fact. We were hoping for her affirmation. He affirmed that he was the person chosen for the job. And if you've been afflicted with pain or afflicted with the flu or something, or an illness, it means that you have endured suffering. So to afflict is to cause pain or suffering. If you've ever had a crying child nearby, you may want to do something to appease them. Or if you've insulted someone, you may say something immediately to appease them so that they're not angry. To appease is to soothe or to pacify, to calm down, to placate. During the Puritan period, and even the Great Revival, when preachers stood before their congregations and talked about hell and evil and man's sin, many times people will say their speech was like a fire and brimstone speech. Brimstone itself is just sulfur, but in the context in which we are discussing it, we're talking about God's wrath being filled with fire and brimstone. This is going to be seen in the sermon called Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. A calamity is a catastrophe, an event causing damage. What a calamity it was that she was talking about her friend when her friend was within earshot. Chaff is a noun, and when you talk about the chaff, you're talking about the husk of the corn. You separate the wheat from the chaff. This is the part that we can get rid of. You separate it when you're winnowing something. So when people talk about separating the wheat from the chaff, the wheat is obviously what you want to keep, and the chaff is what you can discard. To chide is to scold or to rebuke. If you've heard a parent chiding their little one for climbing up the radiator and near the window, that means that they are rebuking them, to scold them, to rebuke them, to correct them. If you're on cordial terms with someone, this is an adjective which means friendly, amicable. To be cordial with someone. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Desperate is an adjective which means hopeless, feeling despair. He was in a desperate state. Discourse. If you and I engage in discourse, we're engaging in a conversation, a discussion. It's just another synonym for a discussion, a noun. To be under great distress is to be under great pain or affliction or suffering. When there are diverse reasons for doing something, that means that there are many, and they are varied, and they are mixed. If it's a diverse congregation, it is a mixed congregation. Going back to brimstone, these speeches by many of these preachers were fiery speeches. They were passionate, filled with feeling. On a simple level, it's consisting of fire. But we can use that figuratively, of course. If you must show forbearance and wait until the dinner is cooked before you start nibbling on food, you have to show patience. You have to show self-control, forbearance. To gape at something, we know this as a verb, and when you're gaping at someone or something, it's to stare open wide. You know, you talk about a gaping hole in the floor. It's wide open. To gape with your mouth is to be shocked. Oh my gosh, wide open. A grievous mistake is a serious one. Habitat for humanity, right? People go around building homes for people. If there were no signs of habitation, that means there are no signs of a place in which to live. So habitation is the place in which to live. In Plymouth Plantation, we're going to come across a man who falls overboard, but thank goodness he grabs hold of the halyard, which is a rope for raising and lowering a sail. If someone is haughty, haughty is a great synonym for a person who's being very arrogant, very full of themselves, conceited. A lot of us know what incense is. We talk about a censer and the incense that you can sometimes smell at a mass or a holy ceremony. But when we use this as a verb or an adjective, actually, verb or adjective, to say that someone is incensed or to feel incensed over something, it means that you are very angry to the point of being enraged. A lament right there is a sad song. So when something is lamentable, it is full of sadness, full of grief. It is so lamentable that you did not do your homework on the first day of school. Full of grief, full of sadness. To loathe someone or something is to hate. If you loathe broccoli, means that you are averse to it. And manifold, like diverse, means many and various. The manifold works of the Lord, right? The many and various wondrous works of our good Lord. And that'll get you through the first half of the terms from early American literature. Thank you.